That APD officer is fighting for his life tonight after an undercover drug bust went haywire and one officer opened fire on another.
It happened outside a crowded McDonald's in a very busy area. We have live team coverage with the latest from police and witnesses. We start with News 13's Tina Jensen at UNM Hospital. Tina?
Jessica, there's been a stream of APD cars coming to the hospital throughout the evening. Officers here to show their support to the detective and his family. That officer is out of surgery but remains in critical condition tonight, a victim of friendly fire. It was just before noon when the sound of gunfire pierced the air near Central and Tramway.
I heard at least three, just, pop, pop, pop. Most of the time, it's fireworks, or a backfire, but you never know.
A customer inside the McDonald's said it soon became clear that something was wrong, very wrong.
The other officer, I saw him leave the vehicle, and then he was hugging another officer, like almost like a relief thing, So at that point I thought, well, maybe an officer was injured because the officer seemed pretty shook up.
This afternoon, an emotional chief confirmed just how serious it is.
Today, during an undercover narcotics operation, an undercover Albuquerque Police Department detective was shot. The preliminary investigation shows that the detective was shot by another Albuquerque Police Department officer.
The action centered around this black Lexus. Sources tell us 2 undercover officers were inside the car conducting a drug buy with 2 suspects. After the buy, one of the officers gave a signal for backup to swoop in and make the arrest. Those backup undercover officers were all in the pickup trucks you see. Then something went wrong. For some reason, one of the backup officers who moved in started firing his weapon, hitting an officer who was in the Lexus. So far, APD hasn't named either one.
There's many questions that still need to be answered, and right now I just don't have the answers to those questions. We would just ask that the community please pray for the recovery of this officer.
And once again, that officer is in critical condition tonight here at UNM Hospital. Late tonight, APD also confirmed that a second officer who was inside that car was also injured, but they didn't say how she was hurt. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tina. Those 2 drug suspects were arrested at the scene. Chief Eden wouldn't say if either of them had a gun or what prompted the officer to fire his weapon. APD hasn't released the names of the 2 suspects.
This happened in a very busy area, and a lot of people watched the chaos unfold. News 13's Lizzie Mitri tracked down some of those witnesses. She's live at Central and Tramway.
Dean, between the motels and the restaurants here, I spoke with many who heard the gunshots, even some at this Travelodge who saw most of it happen right here from their window.
I was laying in bed and I heard gunshots.
Destiny Jackson and her brother Tyler were at the Travelodge overlooking the McDonald's on Central near Tramway.
I heard yelling and I looked out the window and I just seen a bunch of guys with masks on. I thought maybe McDonald's was getting robbed or something. I didn't know what was going on.
A lot of people were confused about the commotion. There's motel after motel, a Waffle House, and other popular businesses surrounding the scene where people saw bits and pieces of what APD says was a drug bust gone wrong. An officer who shot one of their own. This man was inside the McDonald's.
They surrounded this vehicle so it could not back up and escape. And then at that point, then the shots happened.
There was an officer on the ground and there was 4 other officers cutting his shirt off and stuff like that.
Tyler says he heard them talking to the wounded officer.
2 of the officers kept telling him to stick around, that he wasn't going to die, to hang in there, that he'll be all right, hang in there, he'll be all right.
There were some people that were not in uniform stopping traffic. Ambulance came in. They had that McDonald's all flagged off probably within about 5 minutes. It was really fast.
Destiny took us to the balcony where she saw it all.
Right here. I stood up and I got a chair and I could see over.
She says she's shocked and relieved her kids were at school at the time.
My kids, they usually ride their scooters out here. It's scary. Really scary.
She says her brother got a lot of it on video on his tablet and that police took it as they continue to investigate what went wrong out here. Back to you.
All right, Lizzie, thank you. Central was closed for hours today around that shooting scene. Everything, though, is back to normal tonight. This was the 7th APD officer shot in the last 2 years, including today. 2 of them have been by friendly fire. And this is the 2nd APD officer shot in a week. Police say Christopher Cook shot Officer Lou Golson twice during a DWI stop near San Mateo and Montgomery early Saturday morning. Cook was arrested Tuesday after 3 days on the run. Officer Golson is still at UNM Hospital recovering. News 13 learned that he had more surgery today. And as we learn more on the officer's condition and uncover new information on exactly what happened, we will bring it to you on air. And of course, you can see more online on this story at krqe.com.